Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Anastasia here with this week's Teen Mom Young and Pregnant recap. So, going back to the mediation session, Kaya complains about Carla's wackiness to Tiaja, but eventually she goes back to the room with Carla. Finally, she starts talking, and she says something pretty concerning when she's complaining about Xavion. She says, when I got pregnant, it wasn't on purpose. Yeah, they all say that. But then she says, I did not know he took that condom off. So basically, she's accusing Xavion of taking off the condom without her knowing while they were having sex, and that's why she got pregnant. If that is true, it's actually a pretty serious accusation to make, and it makes him look really bad. It's actually illegal in some states too, it's called stealthing. And I'm not saying it's completely not her fault, but if that's true, then I do see why she's so mad about this whole situation and why she keeps saying that it isn't her fault. Kind of a dick move on his part, literally. Carla kind of brushes past that and says, you know, you're the woman, you're older than him, you should know better. She's like, what, a year older than him? It's really not that much of a difference. I mean, she's just one of those moms, you know, my precious boy can do no wrong in this heathen of a woman. But eventually Carla says that she sees herself in Kaya because she too had a baby when she was 16, and she was like her when she was young, and she apologizes. By the way, I hope MTV didn't pay this mediator too much because she really isn't saying or doing much of anything this whole time. Carla's just talking over her. They would have been better off paying a security guard in disguise to just sit there. Surprisingly, though, it's going well. After the apology, Kaya says she wants her to be a part of the family. She accepts the apology and even invites her to come see the baby. Finally! And it ends on a good note. Brayson is turning 2 soon and they want to get him a tricycle, which is going to be specially made due to his arm. They're very impressed by how he uses his nub to do almost anything that anyone else can do. And during that scene, he uses his nub, as they call it, to move beads on that little wire bead maze thing. Does this thing have a name? Because, is there a name for this toy? I'm blanking here. I do not know the name of this thing. Ashley's grandmother passes away, and she and her mom are devastated. Even Holly looks sad. Pastor T feels alone, and Ashley has never seen her mom broken like that. Meanwhile, Barr still won't shut up about the DNA test despite all that's going on. Hey, I have a DNA test for you, Barr. It's every single picture of your daughter that you have of her where she looks exactly like you. There's your DNA test. Stefan still wants to have this sit-down talk and warns Madison to not start wailing on Kayla like I'm sure she's raring to do. After all, Madison doesn't need any teeth knocked out, making them look even more fucked up than they already are. He also says he's gonna be a dad whether Kayla likes it or not. Excuse me, Stefan? Gonna be a dad? It's been almost 2 years, bro. That's 10% of the kid's childhood wasted away while you were off ranting about how much you pretend to care. Jacob, even Jacob, who is so stoned and or zanned out that he can barely talk, has realized that Rachel banged Drew behind his back while they were together. So clearly Rachel isn't even trying to hide it. She wants to hang out with Jacob and she asks him to, but Jacob can probably still smell the scent of Drew on her, which I'm guessing smells a lot like Jacob, maybe different strain of weed. So he's not up for the hangout. He says that she's stupid. Rachel knows that Jacob saw Drew come over and gee, I wonder why he's being weird. I mean, after all, Rachel told Drew she didn't want to be with him right after their all-night fuckfest. She was pretty clear if you're asking me. Rachel also says that Drew was only pretending to care about Hazley to get to herself, because Rachel's so irresistible, you know. But she ultimately wants Jacob because he was the one with her throughout her whole pregnancy. And then she says, I don't want to be with Drew. That I know of. That I know of? The inner machinations of Rachel's mind are an enigma. Brianna's uncles help her build a tricycle for Brayson. Brianna's shirt says 90s baby. Yes, 90s baby with the 2017 baby, which since Brianna was born in 99, not a good thing. And I'm not going to get into the debate of whether a 1999 baby like Brianna is really a 90s baby, but let's just say I'm side-eyeing it a bit. Tiaja is proud that the mediation went better than expected, but then Xavion calls and that goes better than expected too, and Tiaja is not as proud about that. Xavion is so happy to hear that his mom's going to meet his baby that he starts crying. Then him and Kaya have like this borderline flirty little conversation where she's like, "Aw, are you crying? That's so sweet." And he's like, "Well, I'm not crying then." Tiaja is pretty sickened by that sweet little exchange and she slams the door and leaves the car. Barr has apparently decided to actually look at his daughter and realize that, oh yeah, she does look exactly like me. And this is really stupid. So he decided to drop the DNA thing and apologizes to Ashley. This next scene is pretty sad. Rachel ran out of formula and her baby is starving, that's in her own words, and crying on the couch. Jacob refuses to watch the baby for more than 15 minutes, but then he leaves to smoke a cigarette. Still, Rachel's friend is there and Stephanie's boyfriend Mike is there, but the friend doesn't offer to watch the baby while Rachel leaves to buy formula, and Mike, I guess, is sleeping in the middle of the day. How many dumb rednecks does it take to feed a child? I'm guessing 5 at least, because we have 4 adults in this house and nothing is getting done. Poor Hazley, like, how do you just let yourself run out of food for your kid? And Rachel doesn't want to take the baby to her natural habitat of Walmart because she doesn't want to go to the store with the screaming baby. No, it's fine, just let her starve then. That's way better. Eventually she wakes up Mike to watch her, but she's pissed at Jacob for not helping. Stefan asks is Kayla down to conversate tomorrow. Conversate is not a word, it's converse. Pet peeve. She agrees. Luke will be there to support, but he says he'll fight Stefan if he's out of line. Carla arrives to Kaya's apartment, and it's a pretty heartwarming scene when Kaya finally lets her meet her grandson. Despite everything that went on, she's overjoyed to be able to see him. Xavier calls, and everything's just happy for a little bit. Brianna takes Brayson around the park in his new bike. Jessica is proud of Brianna for not abandoning her child because that's what the rest of the family thought she was going to do. They must have been watching some Janelle on Teen Mom 2 scenes. Jacob asks Rachel to meet him at the lake to go fishing and swimming. Maybe I'm a city girl, but I would never swim in that brown-ass standing water, nor eat any fish that came out of it. They probably got some extra fins on them. Who knows what's getting dumped in that water. It's too hot for the baby, so Rachel stays in the car with her and then gets mad that Jacob didn't come and sit in the car with her. She threatens to kick Jacob out and burn all his possessions, which I'm sure will get everyone high within a 2-mile radius. Jacob tries shoving something in her face to shut her up for once, and they argue. He calls her a dumb bitch, and she breaks up with him. He calls her a slut and says, maybe you'll know who your next kid is by. Damn. I mean, it's not untrue. Barr texts Ashley that he doesn't want a DNA test anymore, but now she wants it for her peace of mind, so he can't shove that in her face ever again. She also says if he wants to see Holly, he can take her to court. Kayla and Luke get to the restaurant. Kayla sans bra for some reason. Madison's like, damn, it's a crappy day. Wish we had some sunlight. I almost feel bad for Madison here. That was mad awkward. Like, she tried a little bit. She tried. Finally, Stefan says he wants to clear the table. I think he meant clear the air. Kayla is mad that Madison said she wanted to beat Kayla until she had a miscarriage. Madison denies that she said that, but even Stefan doesn't deny that she said it, but says, you know, you both said some reckless things. He wants to fix things before it's too late and doesn't want to be like his own dad where he's 18 and they barely talk. He's born to be a great dad, and he has potential, according to himself, who is the only one that would ever be according to. Kayla just does not look very amused. And that's all for this episode of Teen Mom Young and Pregnant. Do you think Kaya and Xavier were being flirty? Is Rachel gonna go back to Drew again? What do you think of the scene where she didn't have formula for her baby and no one seemed to want to go get it? And does Jacob have the right to be mad at her? Make sure to leave a comment down below and make sure to subscribe for Teen Mom Recaps every week.